The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. That's peace be unto you. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad. Welcome to Liberated Sisters, streaming live right here at Morris Media Studios at MorrisMediaLive.com. Also on my Facebook page, Charlene Muhammad. Today is a family reunion. Oh my God. My brother is here. We met way back in production, and I thought this brother was just about IT, right? But he is so much more. I'm talking about Monk Hines. He's a businessman, media tech, trendsetter, as well as a great philanthropist. And so we're going to be coming in with him shortly. I want you to know that there's some semi-good news regarding the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's social media pages. There's a lot to be done. I'm not calling it a victory. I'm just calling it an update, right? And so that's our show for today. Tell someone. We're talking about doing for self and others. This brother, our guest, epitomizes this concept. And so we're going to talk to him. But first, the Justice Report. Today's Justice Report coming out of the Final Call newspaper. War is on the horizon. War on the horizon. We want to commend our writer, Brian Muhammad, for talking about Iran and how it denies the role in bombing of Saudi oil facilities. That's our cover story at finalcall.com. Also in the Final Call, I wrote an article about the school suspensions and rolling that back, how bad attitudes won't end school for California students. This is talking about willful defiance suspensions, which are subjective. So the children aren't quite clear about how and why they're suspended, and nor are the teachers. And so that's one other story in the Final Call. Also, a collective call for reparations in Chicago. These are just some of the headlines coming out of our paper put together by the great staff at the Final Call Bureau. One other thing I want to point out before we move on to the Farrakhan factor is that they're going to be sending state troopers in to help fight St. Louis crime. So whenever we hear that, we have to be very vigilant and very cautious and find out what that's about. So these are some of the headlines, and I want you to go to finalcall.com for those stories in detail and find out what's happening. It's 40 pages of cutting-edge news, feature articles, as well as guidance and various columns from experts around the country. So finalcall.com. That's the Justice Report. And now for the Farrakhan Factor.
I was told to deliver this message. You think you're invincible because you got money, bombs, guns, and planes, killing babies, innocent people. I think you're insane. Chaos and destruction is the name of your game. Somebody's got to stop you before the whole world goes up in flames. So he told me to tell you, I'll fight you.
For my brothers, we can go to war.
Okay, so this is what's happening in the Farrakhan factory today. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's Twitter account was suspended. I was not aware that it was lifted, and it hasn't necessarily been lifted. So what is happening now, for those of you who have not been able to see his account at all or are still getting the error message, I went today and lo and behold, the minister's page popped up. Now, it popped up through July. So we know the minister had generated news up to the modern times right with Brother Jesse and the Farrakhan Twitter army. So I contacted Brother Jesse, and this is what I'm learning. So Twitter is strategically blocking people from the minister's page, particular people. Some people are saying that they are able to get in. Some people are still getting the message. That's an error. But one thing that Brother Jesse informed me of is that Twitter, according to Brother Jesse, is also retweeting everything that's been tweeted by the minister. The minister's Twitter followers are steadily decreasing, and they're unretweeting. So Brother Jesse Muhammad, general of the Farrakhan Twitter army, asked us to all go to Minister Farrakhan's Twitter page, those who can get into the page that it opens up for, and retweet everything on the page. So that's pretty much an update about what's happening with the minister's Twitter account. Instagram, Facebook, still on lockdown, right? And also, with the Twitter page, the reason I said it's not a victory, it's just an update, is because he is still, Brother Jesse, not able to upload anything onto the minister's page. And they're now going on, we have filed 2 appeals. And what's happened with that is Twitter saying that, look, we'll let you know when we let you know. Okay, so go to Minister Farrakhan's page. If you can get in, retweet everything. And meanwhile, I want you to hear something that I was able to pull off the page today from Minister Farrakhan regarding seeing and respecting God and one another, like this God that's coming up right after the Farrakhan factor. You don't want to move. Invite someone. The Farrakhan factor.
So difficult to tell one, in some respects childish. And Jesus had to nurture them. The disciples of Jesus were kind of, in some respects, childish. And Jesus had to nurture them into spiritual adults. It's so easy to love the Master. So difficult to love one another. It's so easy to tell the Master how much you love him. So difficult to tell one another how much we love you. So the disciples were like that too. Looking for this place or that place. Can I sit at the right hand? Will I be at the left hand? What about this? What about that? And Jesus knew that they needed to grow up. They needed to recognize the spirit and power of God that was in each one of them. No one more important than the other, but all equal in the sight of Allah. That's why the Muslim prayer service is one of the most beautiful prayer services that you could be a part of. Because the king and the peasant are in ranks together. The poor man and the rich man in ranks together. The white man and the black man in ranks together. Nobody saying, I'm bigger, I'm better, I'm greater, I'm wiser, I'm richer. But in those ranks, we only recognize one superior, one king, one mighty God. And we say, Kul huwa Allahu ahad. Say he, Allah is one. And we are all his creatures and his servants.
Wow. Respecting God in self and another. That's Minister Farrakhan, and that's the Farrakhan Factor. You're watching Liberated Sisters right here at MorrisMediaLive.com. And let's bring in our guest, Leon Monk Hines. I say that because I met him as Leon. Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, brother.
Greetings. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Great.
Look at you. Okay, now. I said it's almost like 10 years since we've seen each other, but this is a real family reunion. Brother and I produced Front Page with Dominique DePrima about maybe at least 6 years ago. It's been a while.
Yeah.
6 or 7 years ago. And I thought Leon was, because he handled the website for us, right? I thought he was like just an IT guy, not just an IT guy. I'm not saying it like that's something wrong, for God's sake. What I'm saying is I've come to know he does so much more, like really multifaceted and multi-talented. Just a little bit about Monk Hines, right? So he's an artist, he's a businessman, he's a philanthropist, he's chair of the United Nations Advisory Council for Entrepreneurship. He's writer, producer, director, all of it, creator for God Bless the Child. He's going to tell us more about this documentary about financial success, right? Becoming an entrepreneur and making it, being very successful. And he's a youth mentor. So you want someone that you know and love mentor, you know they need some help and guidance, we're going to ask you to call in, right? So this is Monk Hines, everybody. Let's give him a Liberated Sisters greeting again. I'm so glad you're here. Yes, his beautiful daughter Lauren is in studio as well. So I want to start out by asking you how, well, first of all, you've been doing a lot. I think this was before Front Page. You had a lot of these things going on, right?
Yeah, I was doing a lot of
establishment kind of work.
Well, yeah, just doing a lot of websites and meeting a lot of people, getting with clients.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been doing.
Yeah. So my first question for you is, how did you get into entrepreneurship? Before we get into the documentary, I think this might be some of it.
Sure.
But how did you jump into doing for yourself?
I would say it started when I was very young. Mm-hmm. My mother and my grandmother and my aunt, they used to have us do work. And the work that we used to do, they would ask us how much you want to get paid. How much you want to get paid?
I like that.
And I would do work, and I would say, you know what? I want $50, or I'd say $100. Mm-hmm. And whatever I asked for, they never told me no. They would always give it to me. So from that point there, I had already started my entrepreneur mission.
Wow.
From there, I just worked and did different jobs on and off. And just succeeded as just being an entrepreneur. I started getting more things for myself than going to jobs, and started expanding.
Wow. Now, what was your first, once you jumped out of your inner family circle, right? What was your first venture?
My first venture was a clothing line. I did a clothing line back in the mid-'90s.
Yeah, because you're an artist.
Yeah.
What's your website?
DZIgroup.com. I have several, but DZI Group.
Go to DZIgroup.com, but go ahead.
So, yeah, I was a fashion designer, started off there, did very well, was in a bunch of magazines, Detour, Details, Vibe magazine, did a lot of fashion shows, and just got the bug from that point right there, and just kept moving through it.
Wow. I'm sorry. This is so great. I'm looking at his site. I just really love it. You know, I'm tracking that. That. So you not only wanted this for yourself, this successful entrepreneur. Well, I shouldn't even say successful, because who wants to be an entrepreneur and not be successful, right? Or anything.
Yeah.
But you said you wanted other, especially young black entrepreneurs, to know that it can be done.
Yes. So basically, now I'm corporate restricted and get from the kind of able to get there. I had to have everything else, but they just wouldn't let me in. At that point, I just wanted to kind of do things for myself. And I started on the mission of making partnerships, joint ventures, and different deals with people. Other than going out and looking for a job or a resume, I would actually go out and do joint ventures and business deals with people. So I stopped looking for jobs and I start creating opportunities for myself.
Wow. How can when we talk about this in the age of, or the era of Nipsey Hussle, right?
Yes.
And which are you and that we this was, was it that helped you unlock the key, that is something that everyone can relate to.
I would just say that just my drive inside, being able, when I did the fashion when I was young, it put me at a level where I was getting paid. I got paid very good. And then as an entrepreneur, you kind of go up, you go down,
That's
you go
right.
up, you go down. And on my down times, I was trying to find, footing, getting money. And I would get jobs, but those jobs would never pay me like I would pay myself when I was doing my own.
Yeah.
So I would say that fulfillment inside, it's a feeling about doing for self, doing something, and then working it out where somebody pays you for it and they exchange you for your commerce.
Yeah.
Like I said, from the beginning, I was always taught from my mother, my aunt, and my grandmother to ask for what you want. So I never had a problem for asking people what I want.
Yeah.
Sometimes things I ask for might be a little too expensive, and then I just say, well, maybe I'm not the right person for you. Maybe my business isn't right for you. Look for another.
Wow.
But that's how I did it.
You knew your worth and your value.
Always.
One thing I find, even I've had the difficulty and experience it, but when I've sought, services and businesses,
Sure.
and I ask, what's your rate or how much does it cost? I get whatever you would like to give, or
Sure.
what do you think? And I used to say that too. Not anymore. It's like you have to put the value on, because I've found that people, and several of my brothers and sisters and friends out there, we've found that people do that, and then the one seeking the service puts a number on it, and you get into it, and it's boom,
That's
way
right.
more.
That's right.
And you can't go back and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk about how that. Why is that so hard for us? Some people.
Well, I'll say this. A lot of as I was coming up, as African American people, it's hard to be an entrepreneur because everybody wants a deal. Everybody wants to
holy hookup.
They want the holy hookup.
Type
They
this
want
up.
something for nothing, and you have to get out of that because you have to get to a point where you have to find where your magnificence lies, and then find different clients. So as African American, I just started delving into different levels of businesses for websites, logo designs, mobile apps, and things like that. And it just expanded me where I felt very comfortable in any type of position, any type of corporate environment, because that's what I was going to do. And even today, I do quite well in that area, which is how I got into the UN.
We're going to get to that. First, let's talk about, he's featured in the Inland Valley News. Congratulations.
Thank you.
3-page spread, right?
you.
And let's talk about the documentary. So how was that process for you writing this and then seeing it as it's coming to life?
I wrote the documentary, God Bless the Child, because it's really true that God does bless the child that has his own.
Stemming from
And
Billie Holiday's
song, yes.
That's right.
And it just as I was working and doing things, and I have a daughter, and I'm trying to look at other young people that are coming up, looking at the different economic environment that we're in. Some jobs that are here today, in 5 or 7 years, they're going to be way gone.
This is true.
So I was looking at something where I can inspire others to do things with my vanity, the way I look. It's really not all about money. It's more about the soul, the passion inside. And I wanted to share that passion with everyone. And just if I could inspire others to do for themselves, or to show them a route of trying to be an entrepreneur or the right things, then that's where it all started.
Wow.
That's how it started.
And so what's the release date?
The release date, we don't have a specific release date. We're still looking for a few more celebrities and different people to interview.
You can interview me. Not for
I definitely will interview. I'll interview you too.
Monk, I am messing around. It's the kid in me. Go ahead.
But yeah,
the kidder.
We're just looking for more interviews. I'd say late 2020, where we'll be releasing that out. I've also have some other things on the table about expanding that into a television show. Good. And different offers that have been coming out from that.
God bless the child. We're talking to Monk Hines here, Liberated Sisters at Morris Media Studios. And so now let's get into the UN, right? Because we got a snapshot of the businesses.
Sure.
Now, okay, that's American, but now you jumped off into the World Council of Peoples for the United Nations.
Yes.
How did you get there?
I was doing some work for World Council, and I've been doing things in a consulting capacity for about 15 years plus. And they just like the way I do business. They like the way I handle myself. And actually, the president, her name is Cheryl Kazan, she came down and she asked me if I wanted to be a part of the organization. Really didn't know what advisory council chair is.
Yeah.
But I took the opportunity. I told her that I would love the opportunity, and we've been working together to, push that forward and put some things together internationally under the 17 Sustainable United Nations Goals.
Okay. This is so awesome. So I want to talk about some of those goals, but I want to talk some more about the council.
Sure.
What do you all do, and how does that trickle down to, say, someone in South LA that's, we got the businesses down here struggling to survive? How can people engage the council?
Well, the council, it's not something that they put a shingle on for people to represent and to even know what that is.
Come on down.
However, I am a representative, and I've been nominated in that space. And I sit at a different place of opportunity where I could see things and then lend my hand, opportunity and resources to those that may need more. And then that's my part here. So for the World Council, I don't think anybody would be able to contact them and to do anything. But for me, myself, as a member there, I am doing, for what I can do for the community here. So I'm doing things here. In California, I'm mentoring kids, putting different programs together for my part of what I could do for the entrepreneurship and to raise the consciousness and the level of people wanting to be independently wealthy on their own.
Tracking. So the council members pretty much are work to uplift, strengthen. That's how it happens. It's not something, and it happens on a global scale.
It's on a global scale.
So this is how the world community of peoples benefit by the citizens who are members of the council in their areas doing what they do.
Correct.
I got it. So what it means is that this is a person to contact here. Let's give out your contact information.
Monk, MONK, at DZI Group. That's David Zebra India Group.com.
Yes, contact this person to find out. And you really gave a good synopsis of how something like that, because people think UN, a lot of people's experiences with the UN rapporteurs that come out.
Sure.
And they're, dealing with some of the issues that we have in our communities, like crime and violence and rape and all these different things. But for the most part, just generally, we don't really think, about that. We're hearing about the UN Security Council and wars and different things. But to be able to be sitting next to somebody, just our brother, right, that has this wealth of information and can break down how we can benefit on the UN level in some way through the members, I think it's pretty exciting. I was like, okay, Leon. Monk. I want to ask you two questions.
Sure.
I'm violating the law. You asked one. But first, I wanted you to talk about your award, because he is awarded something from the UN. He's going to tell us what that is and when it is. And also, after that, how did you get the name Monk?
Sure.
So let's go with the UN award.
UN Award. Well, it's not UN Award. It's actually the Inland Valley News Award.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was the UN Centerpoint. That was a feature in
Well,
there.
that was a feature in there.
Yeah.
The award is actually Entrepreneur of the Year for the Inland Valley newspaper. We have a gala coming up on November the 23rd. It is coegala.org is the website. And basically, I went to an entrepreneur breakfast. I saw something in the newspaper, and I was like, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
So I went to an entrepreneur breakfast. I called at RSVP. I talked to a gentleman. His name is Tommy Morrow. And I RSVP'd with Mr. Morrow. That was about 2 weeks prior. So I came in, and I brought one of my mentees. His name is Jared Jackson, but I call him Ruckus. His name is Ruckus. And I brought him in with me.
Not Uncle Ruckus. Go ahead.
So I brought him in, and I was sitting down, and there was a bunch of African-American men surrounded by me. I felt extremely comfortable.
Wow.
Everybody got up and introduced themselves and what they did and how they would like to contribute their entrepreneurial skills, and it felt very, very comfortable.
Wow.
After that, I sat with Mr. Morrow for a period of time after that and was explaining to him all the things that I have done. I had stocks and some products, CBD products and things that I've created, and brought those in. And he asked me if I would like to be Entrepreneur of the Year. It took me a minute because I'm not this. All of this is very it's new for me. I just like to do the work.
Like yes.
So I told him yes. Yes, I would like to, and then from there. All of this is starting to happen. So,
wow. So this is really good. I mean, well done, well deserved. And yeah, I could see how you would say that because I'm like humble, just very humble, always quiet. But then again, we were working at 4:30 in the morning. We weren't talking about you, Talib, myself. We were like handling phone. We were not really doing a lot of kicking back.
No, not at all.
Going in, getting out. It was very early production. How do you... what do you see? Well, no, that's not fair. Monk. Yeah.
Monk comes from, took a business trip, China, and did a lot of different things where it was very easy for me to adjust to the lifestyle there. And actually, my name is Little Monk, but I'm not so little anymore. So we just use Monk as being a disciplined person. And that's where the name it came from.
Wow. And wise. I saw wise.
Yeah, wise too.
Yeah,
that's
wise.
Right. Automatic, yes.
Wise too. Wow, I was supposed to get a copy of a snippet or something of the documentary I wanted to show, but I think we can bring you back.
Sure.
And we're not going anywhere by any means, but I want to make sure to bring you back so that we can follow it because I think it's something that we don't have enough of. And people don't know how to access our black male entrepreneurs. I don't want to say we don't have enough of because I don't have a stat on that.
Yeah.
But, and when we talk about success, pardon me, it depends on who you're talking to. Like for some people, right, success is money.
Sure.
It could be the cars. It might be a house. For some, it could just be doing what they love to do.
Sure.
Right? Regardless. I mean, they might be on someone's couch right now, but happy as a clam because they're doing what they love to do. But when I'm talking about success, I'm talking about that word sustainability in a different way, right? Being able to provide for oneself and their family, really have your needs met that are financial, and also be able to help others, which is what you do. And so I think it's really great to be able to do that. What age, how young or how old is the group that you mentor? Like, is there a limit?
I mentor millennials from, I'd say, between the ages of 12 to 25.
Let me put that down. Go ahead. Tell us about it.
So basically, I just meet different young people. I see lights and magnificence in them, and I'd like to embellish those things. A gentleman I'm working with currently, his name is Jared Jackson. He's a graffiti artist. So I was looking for some graffiti artists, and actually I was on Craigslist or OfferUp or one of those things looking, and made an appointment with this young man and happened to see him. We met at a Starbucks, and I just loved his spirit. I loved his mindset, and he wanted to be an entrepreneur. He wants to be an artist. And, you know, when I see young people like that, I really try to help and pour into them with my resources, with my time. You know, we spend time like we do spend money.
Yeah.
And I'd like to pour those things into the young people. Those are our futures, and those are our future, you know, presidents and council people and business people. And a lot of them have a lot of energy, a lot of focus. They just don't have the resources, understanding, and know-how. And those are the types of things that, you know, I've been helping with. We're also putting together an academy online where people will be able to actually go online, take some courses, get some things, and find resources in all of the stuff that we have on there.
Oh, that is tremendous, Monk. Thank you so much. What is the feedback from those you mentor, like the greatest challenges that they're experiencing?
From so many, because there's so many ages, but I get things on how to do a website. How do you make your website name on the back of your .com, you know, sistercharlene.com. How do you get access to money? Where do you find your customers? How do you price your work?
That's huge.
Yeah. Do you think it's they ask so many questions, and it's great. So I'm able to not only show them, but actually take them with me. I allow them to be on telephone calls that I have so they can actually see how to conduct themselves professionally on the line. I've also taught a lot of them how to dress for interviews, how to speak to someone professionally in face, because the millennials are so quick to just text message, and when it's times like this, when you're in front of someone, they really don't know how to communicate. So we touch on a lot of different bases. We're going to be putting some things together on, you know, a weekly or bi-weekly things, like a business mentor course or something like that. But I'm definitely inspired. They inspire me, and they keep me pushing. Wow,
that is phenomenal. Where do you find the time? I mean, you got a young, beautiful daughter here, headed to college.
It's really not enough time. It's just little time.
Yeah.
There's Facebook time. There's Skype time. There's a bunch of little things. There's videos. But I'm always available and make myself available.
Wow, that is priceless. So now I want to ask you about, for those out there, well, I don't know, that's consultation. Maybe not. I was going to say, give them a word about how to price their business, but I'm like, no, I don't know.
I mean, it depends on what type of business, depends on what they're doing. But they can definitely email me.
Right.
I definitely would love the emails. I got tons of information, knowledge, and resources for you, and would love to assist in any way I can.
Let me have your email again. I know you gave it to me before, but I'm going on.
MONK @dzigroup.com. You have a call.
Okay, great. Welcome to Liberated Sisters. Thanks for calling in.
Hi, this is Jared Jackson.
See, that's Jared. That's Ruckus right there. Look
Jared.
at it.
Okay, welcome. How are you, Minty?
Yeah, I just wanted to call in and give some feedback on Monk. I just want to say he's really helped me out a lot. Like he said, we met on through OfferUp, and just had a meeting at Starbucks, and we just sat down. We showed each other's work, and we've been working ever since. And he's given me a lot of perspective. He's never given me money, but he's always showed me how to make money, and I appreciate it, because, you know, handouts can only get you so far. So he's done a lot for me, and I just want to call in and say that, give my feedback on him.
No, that's wonderful. Stay right there. Yeah, teach a man to fish, right?
Yeah.
Before you encountered Monk, how were you doing with your goals compared to how you are now?
I was doing okay. I would say now I'm more comfortable, since I have different perspectives and like a bigger picture of what I'm aiming for. He kind of opened it up to show me, like, you know, you can do this and you can do that and you can do this. It's like, oh, well, that's easier, you know. Now I can go ahead and do this instead of doing that. So before, I was okay. Like, I'd make money here and there, but it wasn't as I would say I wasn't as comfortable, and it wasn't going as smooth as it is now.
Wow.
So
Ask him how old he is.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what's your age? You sound like you're 10.
yeah, I'm 19. My birthday is in 2 days.
Oh, you're set up. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you refer your friends or family to him based on how you've benefited?
Yeah, my sisters, they've met him the first day that they met him. They loved him. You know, they were saying, you know, he's really good. Like, he's really good for you. He has a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge. I really like him. He's even taught my sisters stuff and got perspectives from my sisters and gave them perspectives, showed them how to, telling them how to open up business emails and, you know, just out of the kindness of his heart.
Yeah.
And I told my friends about him, neighbors, you know, so definitely.
That is phenomenal. So what is your goal?
My goal? Well, I like to weld as well, but I'm also an artist. So I just want to, I consider my welding an art. So overall, I just want to be a successful artist with my welding and my painting, everything that I do, my fonts, and etc.
Oh, that is amazing. Do you have a website?
No, I don't. I'm actually a part of DZI Group. So
I got it. That is it.
DZIGroup.com.
That's it. Before you go, would you like to give anyone any advice or a nugget that you've learned from Monk?
It just be probably whatever you have, whatever you're doing, don't do it for the money. That's probably what I've mostly had.
Wow.
Everything Monk has taught me and showed me and opened me up to is never do stuff for the money. Do it because you love to do it. Because even when you're making money, if you don't love to do it, it's not worth it. You're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
So
wow.
That's what I would say for sure.
Thank you, Jared. Much success to you, and thanks for calling in.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jared.
He sounds like
Ruckus.
All right.
Ruckus. He sounds great. So
No,
this
he's
is
awesome.
the type of work you're doing. I think it's great that you're being honored with the award. I want to ask you if your assessment of any mentors you may have had, and how are their skills, right?
My mentors?
Mentees, pardon me.
Oh, my mentees.
Mentees. I'm thinking about education.
Okay.
You know, like, are they prepared enough? So they may have the skill, the art, the talent, right? But are they prepared enough with the other skills they need?
I would say they're not 100% prepared, but I see things in young people, and I like to try to embellish those things. And when I could see something, I'll try to pull it out as much as possible. Like Jared was saying, you know, I'll see some things. He's a phenomenal artist, but there's certain perspectives and ideas that he doesn't understand or get, and I'll kind of try to put those things in there. I know it took me a long time to get where I was at, so I try to be patient, very understanding, and have a very good way of understanding and laying out the information for how I want them to receive it. So even when they're coming in, if they're lacking a little bit of education or a little bit of this, then by the end of when we're meeting, they'll be fulfilled up. Because I fill in the gaps.
Yeah. Now, as a black man, are you a fish out of water in your environment at the UN on the council with what you do? Pardon me, with what you do? And who you are.
I'm still learning, and I'm still being groomed for a lot of things there. And yes, I'm on an artist platform, so I do things a little bit different. I don't dress up in suits and stuff like that. So yes.
I like that shirt, by the way.
Thank you. So yes. I don't see too many of us across when I am doing things there, and I'm just there to inspire and to, you know, be the best representative I can while I'm there and set in that position.
So what is at your disposal to use, like, on the council? Like, it has benefited you in how many or what ways? Tremendous.
Well, I've been nominated since 2018. I'm still being groomed. There's a lot of things that I don't know. There's a lot of things that I have to, you know, keep going through. But it just opens up the world for resources, philanthropy, and things internationally that anyone on our level as African Americans just don't aren't able to have any kind of influencing on, or just being a voice on the wall that's saying, hey, I don't think that's right. Maybe we should do something like that.
Yeah.
So I get to come from a perspective where most of the peers that I'm around in that area, they don't look like me or think like me.
Yeah.
So I just be able to put my 2 cents in.
Yeah.
That's a different voice of reason.
Yeah, wow. So let me ask you about gentrification
Okay.
in terms of the business realm and how you think that affects what you do or the people, like your target community, the target mentees you have. You think this is something that is going to be impacted by what's happening with the land grabs going on? But it's and on another hand, people say, business development. But what do you think about that in the context of what you're trying to do?
In the city?
Yes.
I think gentrification and the grabs, if we're going to be doing development, I think we should look at the demographics of the community and see what's lacking. I think a lot of the community, needs to be a little more educated in the business aspect of buying property and what that means. So many of us get property inherited to us or take property, and we haven't really been schooled or educated on finance and real estate and things like that, taxes. And those are the types of things that we're really losing out on because of the lack of education. So I would say if we can, galvanize more resources where we can get more understanding, create joint ventures, partnerships, and instead of being on the sideline looking at the property being built, we need to start being in those C-level executive meetings, being a part of the building, being part of the development, having our information and being able to say, hey, we want to put this here. We have relationships in the planning department, all those things. So,
yeah. So it's a full circle, you know, and that's the partnerships, because one might not have it and one might have it.
Sure.
So we need a trust.
Yeah. Well, trust and like I said, like partnerships, joint ventures, be able to ask the questions. Don't be afraid. Just pull it all the way out. You'll never know if you don't ask. They always say, closed mouth don't get fed. And I'm trying to eat, so I'm always asking. I want to eat.
I know, right?
Yep.
Let's go to some of the comments online. El Kamara Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum. El Kamara says, I like what he's doing. We need inspired and caring mentors.
Awesome.
And I really get that from you.
Awesome.
Very caring, very inspired. But that's Monk. I almost said that's Leon. I'm used to it. Like our student minister just received this holy name from Minister Farrakhan, and we're still getting used to saying Abdul Malik Saeed Muhammad. Brother Tony,
Okay.
Minister
Yes.
Tony. Yeah, so I can appreciate that. So El Kamara likes what you're doing. We need inspired and caring mentors.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So let's talk about the documentary a little bit some more, like where you plan to shoot.
I'm going to be shooting a lot of it here in California. I have a person, his name is John Lennon Sr., which is out of North Carolina. John Lennon Sr. is the first African-American millionaire from, Prime America. So Prime America back in the 80s. So you can imagine his business knowledge and stuff as an African-American man to get $1 million from Prime America. I'm talking to the people for Les Brown. Les Brown, he's in Florida. So most of the things will be here in California. We will be doing some stuff that's, flying around to grab some of these older people that I like to interview that can't get around as much.
What would you like for how people to take out of your documentary?
I would like people to be inspired. I would like the people to see perspectives, other ways of making money. It doesn't mean that you have to stop working for somebody else. You could still do that. But these are other options where people can take their hobbies and turn them into a lifelong business, where you can put your family in there and expand your legacy.
Expand your legacy. Let's do it. Question. Now, do you still, I'm more than sure you do you still have we were talking about working on something, and I hadn't looked at it in a while, but It was the Web News Venture.
Oh, the News Minutes.
Yeah,
Remember the News Minutes?
Yeah.
I still have News Minutes.
We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we got to pull that out.
I'm like, Leah, that was what I was, I got too busy. I can't. But I think I'm going to check that out.
Yeah. Well, it's not up, but we should definitely talk because it should
time.
be. Yeah, it should be. It should be.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's so creative, so creative. Let me give out the calling number. I'm sorry. 323-293-3375. 323-293-3375. You're an entrepreneur. You're a mentor. You have questions. You want to know more about this brother and how can you become involved or receive some of his wisdom and guidance. Give us a call or post it right here online like you usually do. People are giving the greetings primarily.
Nice.
Some of the comments are going down. Oh, there was I don't want to say his name incorrectly, but someone actually sent you a greeting. I didn't want to interrupt you.
What was his name?
He said, "Mama, Wilkins." I don't want to say it.
Let me see.
Incorrect. I can't see it. I only get 5.
Oh, tell him to call in, whoever that is.
I know, right? Call in.
Don't,
the brother
don't shout out. Call in. Call me.
The greetings for Leon. Now you're featured in the Council Center, the UN's, the Center Point book. This is their what? Tell us about this.
The Center Point Now, that is a business journal for the United Nations, for World Council's people, and that was one of my first business journals that they put me in. This journal goes out to upper-level academia and the higher-level governments through the UN. It has about a 300,000 subscribership. And they put my company in there, and that kind of started me off into the World Council of People for the UN, like that right there.
How did you feel when you got the news that it would be in here?
To be honest, I was trying to put someone else's business in this book. And I was trying to help somebody. And Cheryl Kazan, which is the president of this organization, she says, "You're always trying to help somebody." She was like, "You put your ad in there," and I was like,
"Awesome!"
And then I told her, I said, "Well, my business is design because this is about sustainability,
right?"
And she says, "Well, make it sustainable, and we're going to put your business in there."
She said, "Enough with that."
Yeah, enough with that, and that's how I got in there.
But good is returned tenfold.
Oh, always.
Yeah,
always.
Tell us some more about the sustainability project of this or the aspect of this.
That book went around all over the world talking about sustainability from solar aspects, water, all these developing countries that are, we're trying to get everything up by, I think it's 2025.
Yeah.
So it just goes through a bunch of different entrepreneurs, business people that have been trying to do things and that are doing things internationally around the world to help those in developing countries have more access to things that we take for granted here.
Totally take for granted, which is, by the way, dwindling, but not nearly to the level where we ever will get to where our other countries are. But look, when you talk about this, I want to get your thoughts about what we see happening now and how the work is doubled or tripled now with all of the disasters that are taking place.
Yes.
So we already had an issue with it and trying to cover down, but when we think about the Hades, right, now the Bahamas and other places, how is this venture going? Like, what we need more people, more resources.
Well, definitely, you need more people, more resources. There's a lot of funding that's coming in, and what I'd like to see is more of us down
even
there.
Even under President Trump?
Huh?
Under President Trump?
Yeah, I see a lot. I read about a lot of money and just private.
I see. Got it. You didn't.
Celebrities. And,
of course.
Yeah,
you said funding. You didn't say federal government funding.
Not federal
Thank you.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I shouldn't have assumed that. But go ahead.
I see that, but not the federal fund.
Someone giving that money up.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, continue because I thought about that. I'm like, whoa, we already had these areas needing things, and now hurricanes, storms, earthquakes just taking places out. So we already have water crises. Now let's talk about the U.S. and things like water. And Flint is still what it is. But now we see news about our own local area, Compton and other different places.
Yeah.
And I would dare to say Carson, where I live, just on my sight and smell of the water.
To be honest with you, I have a partnership with a family in New Jersey, and we can actually drill 100,000 gallons an hour right now. And we actually are in the works of a product that's called Love Water. This is artesian water that's it's coming out of New Jersey. So we are actually putting some things together, looking for funding and things so we could help Flint and other cities with water.
Oh, wow. Okay. You remember Baba Akili? Greg Akili is what he would be announced at.
Okay.
Greg Akili, he was doing a lot of shows with us around Barack Obama's first election. He does heavy work in Flint.
Okay.
And so he's with Black Lives Matter here, the Harriet Tubman Center.
Okay.
A lot of different things. You might remember him when you see him, but we got to get you introduced to him.
Sure.
We talk about Flint and stuff like that. I think he can.
I knew Jaden Smith. I think he did something there.
That Jaden Smith is on it, isn't he?
Isn't he? I was at a gentleman's house in New Jersey.
Jaden. Shout out to you. Go ahead.
His name is... what is his name? I forgot his Mike Stritsky. Mike Stritsky has a device that's a solar device that pumps and it pushes water out. So I have a lot of resources, lots of ways of getting rid of a lot of issues, and just need to make more partnerships and joint ventures with those that are in different areas so we can bring it together as a family.
Wow. I mean, look, we're talking about right down to the basics: water,
agriculture, food. Yeah. We need it.
The website again. It's Monk.
Oh, you want to go to the website? Go to gstd.org.
Oh, that's
another one.
gstd.org. I'm telling y'all, GSTD.
So gstd.org is the that's my corporate business, which shows all the different things that we're currently operating in. Within CBD, hemp world, and things like that.
Wow, sustainability is the talk of the day. What do you think about what's been happening with the climate discussion, the protest over climate change, and the different laws and policies, and where we're headed?
It's very interesting to see all of these things that are happening in the world, and what I'd like to do is I'm just trying to get like-minded people together, and galvanize the resources where we can make small changes in our community and things that we do. There's so much going on, and I try not to get polarized, by all the things that happen, and really just look for more opportunities within the space that's available.
Yeah, and they're there.
Yeah.
It's your energy,
yeah,
and it has always been. But I want to talk to her. I wish she was on. You've been in a cut.
Yeah.
Just real. This gentleman here is real mellow, unassuming. He's not pretentious. And again, like I said, I just, it's like Leon has a website, but you should have been on the other side of the mic. Actually, with what you have, we just need so much in our communities. When I'm talking to people about what's happening now with senior homes, like single-family homes for seniors, where Nipsey's store is, that area, and then in Park Mesa, different places, getting railroaded out by major high-rise buildings.
Yes.
I shouldn't say high-rise,
Yes.
33 feet
Yes.
stories, but we're just going to need the minds like yours and those partnerships you're talking about. So share the replay of the show, and we're not done. I want you to continue pouring out whatever it is, your message you want to give, but because he's looking to partner with like-minded people to better serve our community, to uplift our community. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave a mandate at Justice or Else in the run-up to it, and the clarion call in that anniversary. It was the 19th of the Million Man March, I think the 20th, pardon me. But, make our communities safe and decent places to live. And you're not pigeonholed into one thing. And artists usually aren't. But you seem to go pretty easily and comfortably from pure art to
what
corporate
it is?
to whatever you want.
Well, basically what it is,
and that's great.
Instead of looking for jobs most of my life, I've made partnerships. I did businesses. And as people say, oh, you're doing too much. Oh, this is enough. And I tell them, well,
you're doing too much.
I'm not doing too much, because where you would go and fill out a resume to get a job, I'm going to do a partnership. I'm going to go get a cafe. I'm going to do a restaurant.
Right.
I'm going to do this. And I make partnerships. So instead of me being an employee, I'm always an employer at whatever I do.
Yeah.
I'm not an employee.
And how great it is to be an employee of his compared to what we could. El Kamara says, again, like the water machine the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan donated to Haiti.
Yeah.
That's what
right.
it sound like. It. Remember
That's
that?
right. You got to.
Yeah.
You have to.
really phenomenal. We just need more and more and more of that. Now, the cafe, you mentioned that. I remember. How's it going? It's in Altadena, Pasadena?
It was in Ontario.
Ontario.
And what happened with the cafe, I put the cafe down.
Get it together.
Because I had some other things going. And what happened is that most of the people wanted me to be in the cafe. I'm not a barista. I was a barista.
Mm-hmm.
I was making opportunities for people who needed jobs, and it just didn't happen the way that I wanted to. So I needed to put myself in a position where I needed to make the money I needed to do so I could get moving.
Yeah.
My partner did ask me to come back. So you guys check me out. I might be back up in there pretty soon because I'm asked to come back. So we'll see. Stay tuned.
But he's not going to be baristing.
No, I won't be baristing. You won't even see me in there this time.
But, speak about that. And I know you have partners, but as one of the owners, the need to have a constant vigilance. Like, when can we... sure, my editor will be like, you got your nerves, but
yeah.
Inside joke. But when... how do we get people to the point where we don't have to watch the store all the time? Like, it's about grooming the talent.
It is
fresh.
About grooming the talent. It's about finding good talent. It's about finding young people or people that have a knack for wanting to support. Everybody can't be an entrepreneur because who's going to support the entrepreneurs?
Mm-hmm.
I find that is a challenge sometimes, too. As, sometimes I feel like I'm the people that are hiring are just there to try to get knowledge and information and take it and to move it on. So we, as entrepreneurs, need help so we can be the C-level executives of tomorrow of the corporations that people are working for, because we have hearts and souls just like those less fortunate, and we're going to be looking out and trying to do more than what your corporate company would do for you. So I would say support your entrepreneur. Don't try to do what he does or she does. Support them 100% so you all can grow. And at your time, when it's your season, then you should grow as well. Everything happens.
I get that point.
Yeah.
So someone could be supporting the entrepreneur and working on theirs, but have integrity, right?
Well, it's really hard because as an entrepreneur, just like a corporate person, I want somebody who's 100% committed to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And if you're not 100% committed to my cause, I can't really deal with it because it's two different things.
Revelation.
So I don't mind helping, like Jared. Jared, of course, he wants to do his thing, but he's supporting me and DZI Group and what we're doing. And when it's time to clip his wings. He knows everything that he could do. I've given him everything if he wants to be successful, if he wants to do it on his own. There's nothing that I don't do that I don't share. He could do it all on his own. It's
a beautiful, like I said, integrity, and it's beautiful because he's learning, he's giving, he's receiving, you're getting, you're giving, and it's not some tongue-in-cheek where you're, theft, despite non-disclosure agreements, you don't have that situation. And we need that because at the end of the day, we're going to all be doing for ourselves. These corporations are going to collapse. They're collapsing now. And even if they weren't financially, the people are rising up and are just fed up with the treatment.
Yes.
Right down from working all these many decades and years only to get to the finish line for retirement. It's like, buyout early or just kicked out. Seeing their pensions wiped out.
Yes.
Right? My God. But I was saying, note to self on that because it's really critical. And what you said, I actually just had a realization that this is why I really haven't pulled in a team. You know how we've talked about.
That's right.
I need a team now. I need help. No. It's there, but I've not. I don't want that.
Yeah.
You want somebody that's going to go and ride, even if we do two different things, but that's going to be with you.
Yes.
You're going to build something sustainable,
correct,
and long lasting. So I just close up and just don't do it. It's out of fear. I just don't do it.
Yes.
I don't want to waste time.
Yeah.
Anymore. So I got to get through that. I got to work through that.
Yeah.
Because it takes a team.
It does take a team.
I really need some help.
And everybody, the team needs to have one agenda. You can't have like 4 or 5 different agendas. If you're an entrepreneur, like you got to stay here, have a course, stay in this place, and then, when it's your time, we can launch you off.
Yeah, we're working on this. Yeah, but then sometimes people got to go sooner. So you just have to deal with that and figure it out.
Sure.
I think I figure it out. It'll take a long time to figure it out.
Yeah.
But take the last 2 minutes and share what else you would like. I want you to give a closing remark.
I would say the closing remark is find where your magnificence is. I call your greatness your magnificence.
That's
because
right.
your magnificence is something that no one else can do like you. I'm actually putting a book together for my millennials called Finding Your Magnificence. And once you find your magnificence, it's so much easier to be recognized, for people to see you and to want to help you in your endeavors and what you like to do. So I'd say, like I tell Jared, it's not about the money. It's about the energy. It's about your soul. It's about the passion. It's about your integrity. And then that's where it comes in. I have a saying, and my saying for the 2020 is integrity is the new currency. So that's what I would leave everybody with. Is integrity is the new currency.
Integrity is the new currency. You know, I always say sometimes these shows are not about y'all.
Can we
They're
ever
about
come and
me.
say hi?
Yes,
Hey,
please.
Lauren,
Come on,
up
Lauren.
and
This
say
is
hi.
his beautiful
Why you in?
daughter. Let's send prayer. Look how cheery your shirt.
Now she want to
Come
take
on.
out. No, you got to get in the middle
Come in
right
the middle,
here.
baby. She's headed to college, everybody. Pray for her, please. Say something to the people.
Hi.
So what are you going to be studying in school?
I'm not sure yet.
Why not?
I'm interested in business-related stuff, though.
Don't worry. They're going to
Yeah.
put you in 2 years, maybe a year and a half.
We're trying to get her to go to Miles College in Alabama. She has an opportunity there, so I'm looking to take her there soon. But that's what we're looking at the moment. Any other deals out there, we're glad to see them. Send those college offers.
Hook Lauren up.
Hook her up.
Thank you, baby. Look, I'm going to tell y'all now, check into the mosque down there. Don't be down in Alabama by yourself.
That's right.
Get with the MGTFOI. But thank
That's
you,
right.
Leon. Integrity is the new currency. You know, I really appreciate it. This is a reunion. We talk a lot, but it's been a while, and this is just so inspiring to me personally. And I pray that you all have been inspired as well. So that's our show for today. I want to say thank you so much to Monk Hines, my dear great brother. Go to morrismedialive.com and view the replay. And also, he'll be back. He will be back. We want you to bring Jared, too.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
I am.
So-
He missed his ride. So
Yeah.
next time
it's
you're going
okay,
to be
Jared.
here.
We got you.
We got you, Jared.
Yeah. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad saying if it's impacting our community or can uplift us as a people, let's talk about it. Peace.